Well, I can't believe it's possible. Are real estate agents really making more money with all of the new rules that have been put in place here? We've seen no shortage of opinions online when it comes to what's going on with all the new NAR rules, how we need to operate with buyers, getting that buyer agreement in advance. I want to talk about what it means for us financially. Welcome to today's morning meeting. I'm Greg Luther, the one guy that meets with you every single week to help you in growing your real estate business. Today's topic is simply that real estate agents are making more money with all of the changes that are happening right now. I want to talk a little bit about that. Make sure you check in the chat. Let us know the city and state that you are watching from here and where you sell real estate. Obviously, we do tons of referrals. Gave out 3 more referrals yesterday. So congrats to all of you that are working with those clients there. But I wanted to talk a little bit about this because the rules have changed the game. I think anytime there's change, people are going to be nervous. They're going to be a little timid. They're not as confident in the way that they're presenting themselves, and telling a buyer you need to sign a contract. If you've been in one of those states that didn't have contracts before, you almost think it could never happen. Why would they sign that? Why wouldn't they just go around me? Why would they see benefit in that? I think it's actually stepped our game up. And I can tell you a lot of our members with Greg Luther Inner Circle Coaching, they're generating more clients, more contracts, more revenue than they ever have before. This is actually going to be a good thing for real estate agents and for the real estate industry as a whole. So we'll talk a little bit about that here. You know, so many agents are finding it is working well. It's surprising how many agents have always had a listing presentation. Probably didn't like their listing presentation. It's something their company provided or something they bought for $99 or something, but they've used it over the years, and it gave them an outline. It gave them something to follow while trying to build value, trying to build a value stack when meeting with sellers. Here's why you should list with me. Here's all the things we do that are unique. Here's how we're going to help you navigate the home sale process. We've always had listing presentations, and if I were to ask you to honestly rate your listing presentation, you'd probably say it was a 6 out of 10, maybe a 7 out of 10, right? And that's for the masses. That may not be you individually, but for an awful lot of agents, they would say they're a 6 or 7 out of 10. They think it could be better. They haven't updated it in years. You know, they've left it the same. And then when I say, okay, now you need to give presentations to buyers, and you're going to have to make sure they sign an agreement with you, and they have to agree to pay you, just as the sellers always have. They're going to be contracting an agent, and you're going to need to give them a presentation. Let's see what your presentation looks like so we can see if it needs freshened up. And they'd say, what presentation? I just talked to them. What? You weren't building value in why they should work with you or work with you exclusively? Well, let me guess. You have always thought that buyers are not loyal. They'll go somewhere else. They'll cut you out of the deal. They'll go directly to the listing agent. They're always trying to beat you up on commission. They'd rather go with their brother who's a realtor. You've got a lot of problems here. Listen, if you did the same thing with sellers, they would do the same thing to you. If you didn't require an exclusive listing agreement for decades, they would have been doing the exact same thing to you. So now what we found is it's really stepped our game up as an industry. We're doing a better job of presenting value, showing them why buyer agency is so important. Because, oh my gosh, now you're really paying for it. Let me show you what you're paying for. Let me show you the benefits of what we're doing. And what we found is clients are tied to you in a better way. They see more value in what you're doing. They're not staying because of the contract. They're staying because they know what you do now. Keep in mind, you're not locking them down and them say, oh, I guess I have to stay with him. I signed an agreement with him a week ago. That's not why they're staying. They're staying because you're actually demonstrating the ways in which you can help them. For those of you that are using that ultimate buyer presentation, we've gotten all of that. We did 600 of those over the last couple of weeks here. And we're finding that those buyers are tied to you exclusively. They want to work with you exclusively. They're contacting you saying, hey, I saw the presentation. This is definitely what I need. It's the number one frustration I've had in finding a house. I see you can help me. I want to work with you. So I want you to ask yourself today, what does your buyer presentation look like? How solid is it? And have you found that now that the changes have started to happen here, buyers are actually more loyal to you? Not because they have to be, because frankly, they can sign a buyer agency agreement that's not exclusive. They're not staying because they have to be. that they're tied to you. They're staying because they see value in what you're doing, because for once you're finally presenting that. Now, the advantage is the buyer's agents that don't present that value, nobody's working with them. They might sign the form, the one showing, the touring agreement, the expires at midnight, all the agents that are scared to death to actually negotiate. Like, imagine you're meeting with sellers and you're like, oh, you're just listing with me until midnight. There's no obligation. Don't worry. You're not tied to me. We'll just do a day-to-day agreement. Just stop being a coward. How about step up what it is that you do? You're literally looking for a way for them to not be committed to you. What kind of relationship is that? And how hard would you really want to work for them if you know that they could just leave at any time? They could go somewhere else because it expires at midnight, because it expires on Sunday. You have to step your game up as an agent. Nobody believes in you more than I do. I want you to make a liar out of me on that. Nobody believes in you more than I do. Make me a liar. Believe in yourself more than I do. Believe that what you offer, the service you provide, you can actually step your game up to where they'd say, heck no, I wouldn't go with anybody else. You know why? They don't offer that. Now, you're not allowed to say things like, I care about your business. Customer service is important. I'm a good negotiator. I know the area like the back of my hand. I grew up here. I'm a native. All the crap that every single agent says. I'll ask you, as I've asked everybody else, why should they use you? So what we found is, fast forwarding to today, and as we're recording this, it's August 27th. We're finding that in this first 10 days, it's actually been very good. It's been better quality clients. It's becoming a more solidified relationship. We're creating a better relationship with these buyers. We're having more communication with them. They're working with us exclusively. If they find a new build or they find a FSBO or whatever, they're actually calling us directly. They see us as their agent now, not the loser door unlocker that they could just use any one of them that's available. Oh, you're not around? Let me call until I can find an agent within 1 mile of here. Like, we're not an Uber driver. You don't just take whoever's the closest Uber driver. Oh, there's one 2 minutes from you. He'll be here in 2 minutes. Except, no, that's not what we're doing here. We want an agent that's good, that provides value, that you can really create that relationship. What real estate was created on years and years ago, the relationship we need to have with them, they would actually feel honored to stay with you, to make sure you do get paid, to make sure you do get the compensation that you need. But you have to demonstrate value. And what we found is, at least in this first 10-day period, clients are happier than they've ever been, and they're more loyal than they've ever been. They're not saying, no, I don't want to sign that. That's what you were afraid of. They're not afraid of that. So I want you to really think through what it is that you're doing here. And from a financial standpoint, how cool is it that nobody else is negotiating your fee anymore? You don't have another agent that doesn't give a damn about you negotiating how much you're going to get paid. You get to negotiate what you're worth. We have agents all over the place. I've got one of our menu of services that we're using here from a couple of agents that are getting 4% agreements with buyers when they give them the option of 2, 2.5, 3, or 4. The buyer takes 4. Now, you don't believe that because you didn't believe buyers would sign. You only believe what you know you have seen in the past. We have agents that are getting 4% agreements. Now, they give them the option of cheaper, and the buyer's like, no, I don't want the cheap. I want all of these benefits. They have all options, and they choose the premium. You better get coached up on the right way to do it. You better get coached up on how you're going to build value. Give them the option of cheaper, and they're like, no, thanks. I want good. Instead of good, better, best, just give me the best. At least better. But I don't want good. That's no good for me. Because you can build value the right way. So this is what's happening. Look, this is where the market's going. Doesn't matter what your opinion is. This is what's happening in today's market. There will be a boatload of agents that can't get their mind right, that are stuck in their old ways, and they're going to be the ones that leave the business frustrated, confused, thinking the government screwed them, thinking the feds, the attorneys, the whatever. Everybody's out for everybody now. Everybody's suing everybody. This is the nightmare that they hoped would happen. Now agents are suing NAR. Let me tell you a secret, agents. Don't sue broke people. You know what's going to happen if they have another judgment? Your freaking fees go up. They're going to send the bill to you. Are you stupid? What are you talking about? Why would you? The first thing an attorney is going to do, oh, I want to sue this person. He screwed me over. Does that person have any money? No, they borrow a car from their mother to go. Then why would we sue them? They have no money. The last thing I want to do is go after companies that have been sued over and over and over and have literally millions and millions and millions of judgments, dollars worth of judgments that they need to take care of. Why? Because you want to be a victim now? How about if you just go out and win? How about if we don't do this victim mentality? Because ever since last Saturday, you've had the opportunity to build the biggest value you've ever been able to show. You're able to negotiate whatever you want, whatever you feel you are worth, and you can show that buyer this is why they should work with you, or if you choose, work with you exclusively. Now, one of the advantages here, because I always hear, you see the comments on Facebook and everything else. Well, in my area, buyers don't have, your area is not freaking different. First of all, nobody's got any money. We are in the biggest national deficit in the history of America. Credit card debt is at an all-time high. This is nationwide. This is not your area. Shut up about your area. You got rich people in your area and you got poor people in your area. And the vast majority of buyers don't have or don't want to spend the money to pay a buyer brokerage fee. What would make you think they're paying a buyer brokerage fee? The best agents are still having the buyer ask the seller to pay for that compensation. Now listen to me. You are not the agent asking for a commission in your contract. Let me give you that again. Listen up. You, the agent, are not asking the seller to pay you in the purchase contract. You already negotiated your commission. It's already in writing. The buyer is asking the seller to pay that on their behalf. You are not. It is not you asking. It needs to be on a separate addendum because no, it doesn't. You've already got an agreement. And by the way, you can't ask someone that's already in an exclusive agency agreement to pay you. The buyer can. The buyer can ask for a new Mercedes if they want to. The buyer can ask that you pay off my Citigroup credit card so that I qualify. Now, your lender's probably not going to approve that, but the buyer can specifically put in there, seller to pay buyer brokerage ABC Realty 3% of total sales price upon successful closing. That's not closing costs for you. That's not closing costs for the buyer. That's not 6% can be used towards closing costs. And what if the lender actually needs? You can still do that. This is not closing costs. They can say, seller to pay ABC Fencing Company for a new fence in the backyard. That's not closing costs. Seller to pay for the title insurance. That's not buyer's allowable closing costs. It's completely separate. Seller to pay for the front yard to have new seating and sod. Seller to pay $1,700 towards landscaping. They can ask for any damn thing they want. Seller to put blinds in the house. That's not closing costs. And it's not the agent asking for that fee. So with all the crap you're seeing online and the debate, like literally arguing, an agent can't ask for, the agent ain't asking for shit. The agent's already got their commission negotiated. They already have it in writing. This is just the buyer asking the seller to pay those fees. No, it's not their closing costs. They can say seller to pay 3% towards ABC Realty for buyer brokerage fee and seller to a separate line. Well, where does it go on the? Who cares? Put it on the freaking margin. Put it on a napkin and staple it to the damn thing. Stop it. You're trying to overcomplicate things that will seem so natural for you once we're not 10 days in, once we're a month and a half, 2 months in. It's going to seem natural because you do it all the time. There's a lot of people freaking out online. There's literally the brokers don't know what to do. The brokers are lost because keep in mind, they've never done this either. So they're doing with what they think would make sense, what is best, but they haven't really looked at what's actually happening here. They're trying to mitigate risk, right? So anything, oh, you can't do anything different. We have to keep everything the same because they're nervous and they should be, right? They have to protect themselves. But if you do what's right, you're not going to have any issues. So get this done the right way. Start helping these people the right way. You'll find the buyers can negotiate in whatever they want. I've given the example, and I think this will be very, very helpful for you. A lot of agents are, well, what if the seller says they're not? First of all, I dare the freaking seller to tell me they ain't paying. Go ahead. Go ahead. You think we need you? You really think because you're going to own this home a long time? I dare you to say you're not going to pay me. See, you're operating from a theory of scarcity. And I'm not talking about scarcity in inventory, because frankly, you shouldn't be selling listed homes anyway. We've got a much better approach to get pre-market homes. But regardless, that seller is only looking at the bottom line. I can put on there, buy me a new Lamborghini. Does the bottom line make sense? Because even if they have 5 offers, they're going with the bottom line. But let's say you ask for, and again, commissions are negotiable, get whatever you want. But if you ask for 3% and the seller comes back, we'll only go 400,000 and we're only paying you 2%. That's it. That's my final offer. I'll sell it at 400 and I'm paying you 2%. If you don't like it, get the hell out of here. 404 and 3%. Oh, Greg, we're going to have a problem with appraisal. What? Appraisal? Really? We were writing offers at $70,000 over asking price for 3 years. Now you think $4,000 isn't going to appraise. Really? You really? Oh, well, I had one that did. Well, I had a billion that did. Why does that matter? Because you had one bad experience. So if you worked for sale by owners and it was a divorce situation 9 years ago and they cussed you out because they were mad at each other and then they said you were trying to rob them, did you just never work with FSBOs again because 9 years ago you had a bad experience? Do you think you can never build in the commission value again or build in closing costs because you had one home that didn't appraise? Look at the overall picture and what's happening here. But again, this is look, this is not a revelation. This is very much common sense stuff. I've been talking to you for 17 minutes, and all I have talked about is stuff that you're like, holy crap, you're right. That's just that. Why am I not making it basic? Why am I trying to find a way that this is going to be difficult for me? We're trying to complicate things. It's not complicated. You look at all the agents that are involved in our $100,000 challenge now. Many of you know the one we did in February, 87% of the agents that went through that were able to bring in their goal in under 90 days, or I should say at 90 days. I don't know if it was under 90 days. So that $100,000 challenge, can you earn $100,000 in 90 days? I don't know if that's your goal or not, but 87% of the people that went through that were able to meet that goal. We're going through one right now. I think we're going to do better than 87% because the agents are on point. They're doing what they're supposed to do. They're trained well. They're getting the right language. They're really I think the biggest difference, it has nothing to do with me. When I teach them, they're just more confident in the way they go, right? They're more confident. Like if you're timid, anything you're doing, you can't baby step this. How are you going to cross a creek baby stepping it? How are you going to cross the creek? Oh, I don't know. I think I'm going to fall. Oh, I think I'm going to fall in. Dude, you better be confident and you better jump as far as you can. You can't half jump. You're going to get wet. So for so many agents, they're just confident now when they go and meet with people and they know this is the new norm for us and they can be that leader. People are silently begging to be led. But if you're the timid one, if you don't know what to do, if they ask a question and you let them start leading the way, you are going to lose here. I promise you're going to lose. So your confidence level is what you need to work on. You already know how to sell real estate. You already know how to be legal, moral, ethical. You already know all that stuff. You have to know how to be more confident in being a leader to show them how things are going to work. I'm doing a training tomorrow on Wednesday. If you're watching this live, it's tomorrow. On Wednesday, we're doing a training on what's going on with all these agents in the 100K challenge, what they're doing to make money. And how they're doing this in the face of adversity, like all these changes that happened August 17th and all that. What are they doing to attract more clients, get more sellers, of course, but also get these buyers and be able to earn that premium? If you're not registered for tomorrow, there's a 5,000 agent limit because that's as high as Zoom goes for us. Zoom's charging me $2,000 a month now, over $2,000 a month for me to have more people on there. But if you go to 100kagentchallenge.com, 100k, 100k agentchallenge.com. You can register. It's free to attend tomorrow and kind of see like what these guys are doing, how they're negotiating, how they're attracting clients to begin with, but then beating that objection that so many are worried about. Are they going to sign? Are they going to pay you? Are they going to stick with you? Why would they use you in lieu of all other options? The silliest thing I've ever heard is they would go to the listing agent. Like, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. Well, that means, first of all, you suck in 937 ways. I know I can count 900, but I think there's going to be 937 ways that you could improve your real estate business so you provide more value than them going to the listing. It's like if I got sued right now, I'm actually suing someone else. I'm the plaintiff. But if I were a defendant and I got this lawsuit today, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm being sued. This is going to be so expensive. I can't afford an attorney. An attorney is going to cost me 3%. Well, I see here they already have an attorney representing them. I'll just call that attorney and we'll work it out. You about to lose. You're going to call the listing agent to save money? That would be the same as me calling the other party's attorney, the opposing counsel, so I can save money because I don't have money for my own representation. Now, I'm not assuming or pretending that we're legal, we're attorneys. I mean, you can see I don't have my hands in their pockets. I can keep my hands in my own pockets. So I'm not an attorney. I don't play one on TV. But the representation we have, the things we do on really their largest investment they'll ever make, if you can't build more value that they want to go to opposing representation, that's you that needs to fix what sucks. That's not the client. That's not disloyal. Because by the way, if they can go there and save money, you suck, and they should. Let me give you that again. If they can go to the listing agent and save money, you suck. Why wouldn't they? They should do whatever they can do to save money for their family. Why should they go with you? Because you need money? No, here's all the reasons they should go with you. This and this and this and this. And well, man, that makes sense. I should go with you. If you don't have a value stack that makes sense, they should cut you out of the deal. There shouldn't be buyer agency if there's no value to buyer agency. But if there is, if you're doing what you're supposed to do, I think it's going to be a very elite group of agents that are going to dominate the market because they've set themselves up the right way so that a buyer would say, ain't no way I'm going with a listing agent. I'm not going with a regular buyer's agent. I'm certainly not going with one of these flat fee companies. I want what you offer. That's what you need to build for yourself. So I want you to think about that in your own real estate business here. You know, a lot of what we do with our morning meetings, we do morning meetings every single Tuesday. That's why you follow the page and you ring the bell, turn on notifications, because I'm showing you what's actually working in today's market. You look at tomorrow's training. I'm actually going to have video. We're cutting the videos of all of the agents I've been interviewing that did over $100,000, at least $50,000, preferably $100,000 in extra revenue in a very short period of time. You know why? Because you need to learn what they're doing. Because you need to copy that for yourself. So again, you can grab your spot for that if you want, but I want you to think about, are you confident in the way you're going out and you're meeting with people? Are you being a leader rather than a follower, or rather than being timid? You don't have to be great. You just have to be good. And we can very, very quickly get you to that point. For all the agents that have been sharing our content, sharing this with someone else, or tagging their friend in the comments section here, or taking the link at the top and sending it out to them, that's because you're seeing value. But man, I don't want you to learn more. I want you to earn more. You got to learn first and then drop the L. So I want you to utilize this for profit. It's crucial that you utilize this to capitalize on what's going on. Why everybody else is stunned and confused and doesn't know what to do and still have, like, I cannot believe how many agents, this has been going on for 10 days and they haven't met with a buyer yet. Dude, you're licensed and you're not practicing. Let's be honest about this. Like, if you sit here on freaking training videos all day, you ain't practicing. You are licensed but not practicing. How in the hell has 10 days went by and you haven't even met with one buyer? What are you doing? You want to watch another video when we're done here? Does this feel good? Get your shit together. Get a marketing campaign that makes sense. Invest in yourself. Get your business going in the right direction. 10 freaking days have went by and you haven't met. Well, I've talked to a couple. I've had some conversations. It went okay, but how many have you met face to face? Imagine you were on the dating scene, right? So you're dating and everything you're doing is just watching videos about dating. Dude, you need to go meet some freaking people. What are you talking? Well, I'm afraid those leads may not be too good. What if they're married? What if they're not? How about if you get out there and you meet with some people? This whole stuff right here, this ain't getting you where you need to be. You have to learn first and then drop the L. I want you to be on tomorrow's training as well, 100kagentchallenge.com. You may see it in the comments or something here that you can click on it. But to be clear, it will allow everybody to register totally free, but it will only allow the first 5,000 that log in to get access to it. You'll clearly see on there, there's a 5,000 limit. And just like last time, we will be over capacity. If you miss it, I warned you. Maybe it's time to start earning. So like that call is at 2 o'clock Eastern tomorrow. If you set your alarm for 2 o'clock, don't even bother clicking the button. It ain't going to work. You better set that alarm for 1:45 so you can log in. Or if you're out on the East Coast, that's whatever that time is, 11 a.m. is the start time. So you'd set it at 10:45. This is how you build your business the right way. Watching the comments and popping some popcorn while you enjoy idiots that are arguing about stuff, it ain't getting you paid. Agents are making more money than they ever have before. They're more confident than they've ever been. They feel their clients are more committed to working with them. And you're sitting around reading comments of people that are losing. I want you to hang out with people that are winning. I want you to see what they're doing. I want you to see how you copy that yourself. Hopefully that's helpful for you. Make sure you are following here. If this is helpful, give me a little thumbs up or a like or a heart or whatever it is these people do in social media these days. That does help our channel. And I greatly appreciate you helping our channel because we can get our message out to a larger number of agents. Right now, everybody needs to know how this works. So we're all working together to make it happen. I think you'll find that a lot of the stuff we're covering here over the next couple of weeks is going to be helpful for you. I've got a lot coming up on the financials of real estate agents, getting out of debt, building a real net worth for yourself. I'm actually looking at, just last night, actually, I was thinking through a series that I want to create for real estate agents just to publish to the masses about how you get out of debt and you build a net worth and you finally have a retirement. Because damn, if you work till you're 70, I hope you don't, but if you work till you're 70, you better have 25 more years of income or of money without income. You better have 25 years of your expenses covered with no income. Most people in COVID couldn't go 25 weeks. How you going to go 25 years? And that's if you work till you're 70. We got some agents that are 80 and 85 and still vibrant. And, you know, why would I ever stop selling real estate? And that's all fine and dandy, but I want you to do it because you want to, not because you have to. So we're going to put a series together. If that's something of interest to you, by the way, let me know in the comments here if you'd like to hear something about that and see a series of how we've done this with a lot of agents and give you some good, helpful tips on getting rid of all your debt. You got to get to zero. First thing we got to do is get to zero. There's homeless people in your town right now that are $80,000 richer than you because they're at zero. First thing we got to do is get you to zero. Then we can build a real net worth. If that's something that would be of interest to you, just let me know. I'm really kind of mind mapping out a series that I think a lot of our members would love as well. And, you know, I think it's going to be good for the masses in real estate. So hopefully that is helpful for you. Any questions you have, let me know. I'm Greg Luther. I'm honored to help you. And I'm honored to have our first 10 days in the books and seeing so many agents out there crushing it. This is going to be good for us. Meanwhile, it's going to weed out the fat. It's going to get rid of that lower level agent that's not doing what they're supposed to do, that's not here taking action for their business. We'll talk to you very soon. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye for now.